I'm going to show you how to create multi-generational wealth. This is the secrets that the rich use to get even richer, and this is why the poor keep getting poorer. And I'm going to give you the details. So let's get into it. So this is how you create multi-generational wealth. And this is like the long game. Like this is how you really set your family up for the future. So obviously, you buy assets. You buy real estate, stocks, crypto, you create a business. And with those are things you can borrow against. Real estate, you can do cash out refinances, you can do HELOCs, stocks, you can do margin loans, crypto, you can do leverage, businesses, lines of credit, small business loans. You want things that can appreciate over time and that bring in cash flow. This is super important. Cash flow is obviously the thing that pays your bills off every single day, and appreciation is what builds your wealth. Never sell them. People will typically invest in their 401ks or whatever, and then when they're about ready to retire, they sell them off to take 4% or whatever that is per year until it's depleted. And if you do that, you're setting yourself up and your family up for failure, because every single generation then starts over, and that's not what you want to do. You never sell your assets. We are taught to sell them at retirement, and that's a big no-no, because like I said, you're only setting up your future generations for failure when you can compound those profits. And it's just insane how much how much returns you can have over the long term. And once you have a huge nest egg, that compounding is just going to get bigger. And so like I said, each generation starts over, and that's not what you want. And so you borrow against your assets. You borrow against, and like I said, real estate with HELOCs, with cash out refinances, stocks with margin loans, crypto with leverage, and with businesses, you can do small business loans or lines of credit. Or you buy, borrow, and die. So essentially, you buy assets, you never sell them. You borrow against them because debt's not taxed. And then when you die, your assets pass on to your next of kin debt free, because I'll tell you in a second here. So bear with me why that is. But debt isn't taxed. Rich people use debt to get richer. When we were investing in real estate, and we are buying more this year, we had a single family house. It appreciated over time. We bought a second one. That one appreciated over time. When we bought our first 4-unit, we borrowed against our first unit with a cash out refinance and some of my own money, and bought the 4-unit, which was our third property. From there, I like to say, if you buy 3 properties, you get 1 free, because once all of those 3 properties have appreciated, we borrowed against all of them, pulled out all the money, all the equity, and bought a 4th property, which was another 4-unit that made up 10 units in total. And we bought that with no money out of pocket, because all we did was transferred essentially the equity in each of the first 3 properties and bought the 4th one without any money out of pocket. And the best thing about it is that debt is not taxed. You don't have to pay taxes on that money that you pull out. So like I was able to pull out $122,000 a few years ago without spending any money, because it was debt, it was a loan. And those rental properties are being paid down by renters, and so you never tap into your extra positive cash flow, which allows you to then reinvest even more. And so the 4th step would be to get life insurance. And this is what I was talking about, how you can pass on your assets to your next of kin or heirs without any taxes. And so you use it to pay off debt. And so, yes, I asked, can life insurance pay off all your debts? And it says life insurance can be used to pay off all your debts with enough coverage. It can eliminate all or significant portion of your debts after your death. The death benefit from a life insurance policy can be used to pay off all sorts of various debts, like mortgages, student loans, car loans, credit card debts, and personal loans. So that's why you borrow against your assets, live off the debt, and then when you pass, your life insurance is large enough to cover all of your debts and the death tax, so that when you pass on those assets to your next of kin, though they own them free and clear, and they're doing the same thing. And we'll get into the next step in a moment here. But by the way, I don't sell life insurance. I'm not a financial advisor. I've passed all the insurance tests, the life, property, casualty, and I think health or whatever the other one is. But I don't sell it. Anyways, talk to your financial advisor, or talk to a life insurance person that sells it for you. So don't ask me if I can give it to you, because I can't. That's just something I'm not interested in actually being able to do. And so you put all your assets in a trust. This is the Rockefeller waterfall method. You essentially create a family constitution, appoint a trust protector, set up the family board of trustees. You create your little family office. You fund the trust with your stocks, your business, your real estate, your crypto, and use the trust as a family bank. You can then borrow against those through the trust, paying back the trust instead of the banks, allowing you to have your own bank. Each policy holder that comes into the family has a life insurance policy, and you try to maximize the cash value of that beneficiary and reinvest all the death benefits into the trust itself. And so you want to make sure you're set up with the right state. Delaware, or I believe Nevada, is pretty good for doing these things. And then obviously you just continuously hold family meetings to make sure you guys are all on the same page. And so that is essentially how you create lots and lots of wealth, because what the trust does is it protects it. It's impenetrable, and so people can't go after it. It's also usually unnamed, so no one knows where those assets are or who owns them, because they're in a trust that doesn't have the people's names on it. It's just a trust. Say you make it up to be ABC Family Trust or whatever that is for you. So this is ultimately how you create multi-generational wealth, because one, you keep buying assets, you don't sell them, you borrow against them, you have life insurance to cover all of the debt that you're taking on over the course of the years. Make sure you're not over leveraged. Understand cash flow is king, and make sure that you are looking at where your money is going and making sure that it's protected with a trust that can't be penetrated. And so with all of these things, you are setting yourself up to pass on all of your assets without draining them to the next generation, who does the same thing. They are buying assets as they grow up, and they'll just add them to the trust, and it'll build that nest egg. And as you borrow against it, you're paying it back using your own money instead of it going out to the bank, which then compounds it even more. And this is literally how you create wealth. That's it, guys. Remember to like and subscribe. That's it. This is not financial advice. This is what I'm doing with my family. So, like I said, to talk to a financial advisor for what works for you. That's it. Peace.